Hello, welcome to Live Garden. Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm in my greenhouse and I'm going to give you a quick update of my chili plants. So before I do that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. It helps me out massively, and please do hit the bell button so that anytime I upload a video, you get notified straight away. So let's look at the chili plants that I'm growing this year. And this year I'm growing 4 varieties of regular chilies and 3 varieties of super hot chilies. Let's show you how they're doing. Here in UK, the weather's been very bad, and this year the summer has been non-existent. If you're in UK, you know how everyone is suffering from the very wet June that we've had, and also the spring was very not very good this year. So despite the fact that all of my chili plants in the greenhouse has been doing really well, and actually it's been doing better than the previous years. I'm growing 3 different varieties of super hot chili plants and 4 varieties of the regular chili plants. So these are the capsicum annum. This variety in here that you can see, mashallah, have been doing very well. Actually, all of my chili plants are doing really well. That's because I've been able to look after these plants and taking care very meticulously. So this variety in here is the peri peri, and I grew this variety last year as well, and these were planted last year in the raised bed just outside of my greenhouse. And then these varieties last year didn't do very well in the raised bed, but this year in the containers they've been doing really well. A lot of the buds are already coming out, and soon these will be blooming. So these 2 plants here are the peri peri, and as you can see, that 1.5 month have made massive difference since my last update of the chili plants. Moving on, these 2 plants here, these are hybrid capsicum annum. So these are called Super F1. I got the seeds for these ones from Bangladesh when I was on holiday over there, and look at how these plants, these 2 varieties are doing. They're doing really well. Allah Mubarak. There are already flowers. They started to flower now, and there's lots of tons of buds already on the in the plant, and they are looking really healthy. Can't wait to see the other pods looks. In terms of the bushiness, you can see all of my plants are quite bushy. That's because I actually thinned the plants about a month and a half ago. Not really topping, is a different technique than topping. It's called thinning. It's basically somewhere between topping and leaving the top of the plants intact. Just look up online in any other videos as to how you do the thinning, because I think, like in UK, topping the plants set the plants back a month or half. So I don't really top my plants. I actually, if I do want to make any plants any bushier, I just thin them. So next to it are the mirchi masala, and as you can see, the plants are again thriving in here. I will go into a little bit more detail as to how I take care of my chili plants so that you can follow on. And I think I've kind of, like, over the years, found the best way to look after these chili plants, and as you can see, is I'm getting the perfect results from take care routines as well. So mirchi masala, again, is it gets quite tall, these plants, if you don't thin them. So again, these were thinned as well, and there are tons of buds in the plants, and started to flower. So one thing I do, because these are in greenhouse, there's not much pollinators can get in, and a lot of the time I keep the door shut, especially in cooler weathers. So I do hand pollinate those flower buds whenever I can. And it's kind of like if you just have time whenever you're in next to your plants, if you just do a little shake of the plants, and that will be sufficient for pollination. But if you have super hot chili plants, sometimes you get better results from doing direct hand pollination using a cotton bud or a paintbrush. Manual pollination of those will get you better result. So mirchi masala, again, I've been growing them several years now, and every time I grow in a pot, they do really well. So I'm expecting quite a lot of pods from these plants. Now, these chili variety is again capsicum annuum, so regular chili variety, and this is called Kalam Morris, and is again one of the chili variety that you can find in Bangladesh. These plants last year, if you go back and watch one of my last year's video, you will see that this plant, one of the same variety last year, kind of like reached the top of my greenhouse. So I'm expecting these to get really, really tall. But I am gonna try to sort of like prune and maintain the size, because I want them to be bushier rather than just tall. You don't necessarily get more pods from just getting a plant taller. You want more leaves and more flower buds to be produced. Same again, this plant here is again another Calamoris capsicum and chili variety. And this one here is a mirchi masala. These were one of my spare plants, but I've now potted them up and brought them in the greenhouse, and they're doing really well. Super F1, another spare plant that I've got in here. And again, this is producing a lot of flower buds, and soon it's going to be in full bloom. Moving on to the Super Hot Chili variety. So I am growing 7-pot Barakpur chili variety, as well as the Nagamori's chili variety, and I did grow some Carolina Reaper chocolate, Carolina Reaper red variety, but Carolina Reaper chocolate and Carolina Reaper red, the plants seem to have stunted, so I've kind of like have not taken them forward. So this plant here is actually an overwintered plant from last year, and as you can see, the plant is actually blooming, and there's already lots of pods in the plant. And I've been harvesting a lot of pods from this plant already, and yeah, the pods are really spicy and has a lot of fragrance. So this is the Nagamoris. So the chili plant next to it, this one here is the 7-pot Barakpur chili plant, again from last year. And let me show you, is beginning of July, and this plant is covered with chili pods. Last year I really enjoyed how they tasted and the fragrance that these pods produces. So I decided that I am going to overwinter this plant, and overwintering this plant has actually paid off, because now I'm able to get new chilies, super hot chilies, even as early as like mid-May. I did get some of the pod harvested around mid to late May, and again, as you can see, from June onward, it just kept on producing more flowers and more pods. And as I mentioned, I do hand pollinate these plants. This plant here is again another 7-pot Barakpur, and this is actually there's actually three stems in here. So you can see in here, so this is a cloned um, plant, and the mother plant is this one here. So what I did during the winter month was one day I was pruning this plant, and I took these stems and I put it in a glass of water for a few weeks, and when they rooted, I potted the rooted stem into the compost, and then they've kind of like taken off. And yeah, they're again producing lots of pods. So this is one way you can actually propagate and generate more chili plants if you want. If you have one of the favorite variety and you don't want to sort of start from seed, you can use this method to get or multiply your favorite plant. So yeah, these plants again doing really well. These here 7-pot barak pot that I've started from seed this year. So these two plant, again, both of them are same variety, 7-pot barakpur, and I have three more in here, all 7-pot barakpur, which is exactly same as this one. So the pods will be like this, and it will have the same taste and fragrance. Again, I have another two spare plants of the 7-pot barakpur. So these are all capsicum chinense. If you want to know the scientific or botanical name, and these are, as I mentioned, these are super hot, and in terms of the heat unit, they're more than 1 million Scoville unit. I like these chilies, but to be honest, we do use the regular capsicum anam variety more often in cooking and so on. So that's why this year I've tried to grow more of the capsicum anam variety, the regular chilies, so that these gets because these are the variety that we use more. As you can see, all of the chili plants are doing really well because this is in the greenhouse, and even though we have had really wet and cold summer so far, the chili plants in the greenhouse have been doing really well. In terms of care, what I do with these chili plants is that I put 1 tablespoon of a fish blood and bone in the base of the chili plants um, at the beginning of each month during the growing season. So from May, June, July, August, every first of every month, I'll put 1 tablespoon of fish blood and bone slow release fertilizers. So these are organic fertilizers in the base of the plants, and then I cover it with I try to mix it with the compost. Even if I don't mix it, I'll just cover it with the mulch, as you can see. And these mulch are nothing special, they're basically grass clipping. When I mow my garden, I just get the grass clipping and use those grass clippings as mulch in between. So this is one of the things that I do in terms of feeding the plants. I just add slow release fish blood and bone in the base of the plant. In addition, I would weekly, when they start sort of like flowering, like from this stage, I will weekly fertilize with a liquid fertilizer. And again, all of the fertilizer that I use, these are all organic fertilizer. So the liquid fertilizer that I use are again organic, and I will use maybe once every week or every 2 week, depending on when I have time, basically in between. In addition to the granular slow release fertilizer that I use in the pot. And one thing I've started doing since, spray of liquid seaweed. So I will dilute the liquid seaweed as per the instruction in the bottle, and I will just spray every now and then, like every week or so, or once every 2 weeks or so. Just spray the liquid seaweed on the foliage, and I've noticed that this has made huge difference. As you can see, all of my plants are really healthy, and they are thriving in here. So I think spraying liquid seaweed on the plant every week or so you will see the benefit. You will see the lush leaves of your plants. And this is, again, guys, these, you don't have to just use it on the chili plants. Any other plants like I have in here, I'm growing all of the other Asian vegetable plants in here, and I spray them with liquid seaweed fertilizer. Just spray on the leaves of the plants, and they have been making huge differences in here. As you can see, it's beginning of July, and I already have like snake gourds on my plants, and we've harvested already snake gourds. So yeah, as you can see, the chili plants are doing really well, and a lot of ripe. It's the beginning of July, and I am already harvesting ripe chili, super hot chili pods. And I think I have now, I've kind of like recognized the right time to start the chili seeds for my area, for my country. Like, so I'm in UK and Liverpool, and I think for my climate, this year I've hit the sweet spot for starting the the regular chili plants, and I think it had it has made a huge difference because last year all of the plants, even in the pots, were started to flower around kind of like mid late July, early August. But this year, as you can see, is early July, and all of the plants are looking really healthy, and they've started to already generate flower buds and pods. So I think I'm going to stick to this timeline, and I think I started these regular chili plants, like I've sown the regular chili plants quite late this year. I think it was around late February, early April maybe. But super hot chili plants, you do need to start quite early. So I think I've started these super hot chili plants around late January or so. um, yeah, but I did transplant them quite late. I hope you've got something out of this video, and I hope that all of the tips that I've provided in this video in terms of how I take care of my chili plants will help you out too. And happy gardening. I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.